It's really difficult to make a good magic card, and it's really easy to screw a magic card up. Sometimes all it takes is one word. Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, and welcome to another one of my Commander 2018 spoiler videos. Now, this is not going to be a dive into the lore. Today, we're going to talk about how one tiny little change, one word, can ruin a card. So, instead of showing you the card all at once like I normally do, we're going to do things a little different this time. I'm going to show it to you piecemeal to give you the flavor that I dealt with, okay? So I'm going to show you the artwork first, all right? Take a look at this artwork. Now, this is intense. You have a gigantic ooze here with these crazy skulls. It's pulled all these bones into it, everything. You can see them protruding from all kinds of different parts of its body. But what I really like is the way that it has the three skulls up there as heads. I enjoy that. As it grows larger, it could have more of these heads, but it is a pretty terrifying looking ooze. And you can see there in the picture, it's the only sign of life anywhere. It's roaming through a graveyard. Roaming's not really the right word. I think inexorably moving forward through a graveyard. If you look underneath it, you can see the heavy weight that it's having as it's pushing multiple gravestones down to the earth, right? This ooze is it's not so much moving around them as just pushing over as a gigantic force. So, in terms of the artwork, I absolutely love this card. It's got a lot of menace to it. I feel terrified of this thing. You can see it's got little tendrils that would just whip out. This is what I assume it's using to pull the bones and things into itself. It's crazy. The name of this thing is Ravenous Slime, and it certainly looks like a ravenous slime. Now, when we take a look at the text box, we're going to take a look at the abilities and everything. Ravenous Slime can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Now, to me, this is transmitting the concept that, look at this thing. It's absolutely horrific. It's a nightmare moving inexorably towards you. There's nothing that you can do about it. I'm not getting in the way of that. I'm not dealing with this. I would end up running from something this horrific for sure, right? Humans are only 1/1. Let's get out of here, boys. So you got that kind of a situation. Now, the second part of it is, if a creature an opponent controls would die, instead you exile it, and you put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to that creature's power on Ravenous Slime. So it's essentially eating the dead. It's it's not really like sentient to me. It can basically just sense corpses, and it's just ripping them apart, shredding all the flesh off, pulling the bones into itself, just hungry for any and all bodies that it can get its hands on. Now, when you look at all this, what color does this card feel to you? It feels black to me. Does it not feel like a black card to you? Now, when you look at it, it's actually a green card. It only costs a green and 2 colorless, and it's a 1/1 creature. Pretty cool overall. I like this, and it fits as a green creature as well, with the whole like nature reclaiming, eating everything. So that's fine. Now, I bet you're wondering to yourself, well, what does any of this have to do? You said one word can ruin a card. What does figuring out the color of this have to do with that? The color part has nothing to do with it, honestly. I just thought it was really interesting that this could easily be a black card, and the artwork feels very much like a black card to me. But when it comes down to the one word that's ruining a card, you had to understand the flavor behind it. So speaking of flavor, let's take a peek at that flavor text. Here's where things get ugly, guys. Oh no, I hate to do this, but here we go. Death eventually wiggles toward us all. Oh God, how incredibly, amazingly bad was this choice? How to take such a cool creature that feels terrifying. This thing is terrifying. Imagine this. It's just slowly moving towards you. You're watching it rip bodies apart and just get bigger and bigger, like instantaneously too. When a creature dies, it's gone right away. This thing's pulled it apart and pulled it into itself and gotten that much bigger. So it's just getting bigger and bigger, just smashing over gravestones, just inexorably moving forward. And they describe it as wiggling. I mean, there's dead bodies in this. There's swords. There's crazy skull heads. This looks like a death metal album. This is like Slayer Fist, and then they're just like, here it comes, coming at you. Gonna put that wiggle on you, girl. Like, it's the most unthreatening word. It's incredible. I mean, this thing eats the dead. Do they have a flavor text that already says death eventually consumes us all? Because that feels like a really really easy one. I mean, hell, you can even just put the creature type. You can take the creature type and you can put it in the flavor text line and it makes it better. Death eventually oozes towards us all. There you go. But this, with one word, they absolutely undermined all the work that the artist put into this. The concept of the card, that flavor text line obliterates this. It takes it into something laughable. It takes away all the threatening nature of it. And instead you go, oh, look, he's wiggling. Hey, wait, are there boobs in the middle of the art? Does he have big boobs? He's just gonna wiggle them boobs? Like, seriously, look in the middle of the artwork. You can see the boobs just a wiggling. It's just that when they do this, it's insulting to all the work that's put into this. Somebody concepts the idea of a ravenous slime that's just ripping bodies apart. Then the art is assigned to Philip Burburin, I believe that's what it says his name is down there. And he does this amazing job. He creates this artwork, which is fantastic. This ooze as the only living creature in a dead, desolate graveyard is absolutely evocative. And then it's obliterated with one word in the flavor text. And I've demonstrated that by changing that word to other words that make it totally work. So it's not the entirety of the flavor text. It really is one word. This is absolute lazy flavor text writing. Somebody wrote that and went tee-hee and got a giggle out of it and thought they were clever, and they ruined this card. So let me know what you guys think. Are you the same kind of flavor junkie as me? When you look at a card, do you look at it all and just go, okay, look at the artwork, look at this. How does this conceptualize? How does it come together? How does it feel? Does this feel like the concept they were trying to get across? And this totally does, until you get to the flavor text. The flavor text is supposed to enhance the world or enhance the concept of the creature. It's there to give you a better idea of what's going on and tie it all together. And instead, it completely removes the menace and threat from this card. And that, to me, is an absolute fail.
Hey, Perp fam. It's your boy Lettuce. You know what it is. And together, we're the sixth color of magic.
They call me Perp!